Hello, hello, hello. We are live. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight. We are going to be talking about financial freedom. We're going to talk about the new financial freedom. What does it mean to you, to me, to Carmen, to Aaliyah? And you can drop yours in the comments. So go ahead, come on in, so we can get this conversation started. If you're here live, go ahead and drop in the chat your name that you're here live and say hello. We love our live guests. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and type replay and let us know you are watching the replay. So, to reintroduce ourselves, we are the Millionaire Ladies Mob. We come to you live every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and in our private group. And what we talk about are all things that have to do with money. And as you know, and you probably realize in your own life, everything ties back to our money, our health, our work, where we work, our families, our spiritual connection. All those things tie into our money, how we feel about it, how we think about it, and what we do with it. So, tonight we're going to talk about financial freedom because, there's a new definition for financial freedom. Many years ago, financial freedom for some folks meant just having a lot of money. But tonight we're going to talk about what the new symbols are of financial freedom. Before I go any further, let's bring our ladies into the room. Carmen, go ahead and introduce yourself. We
All
can't hear you,
right, I
Carmen.
had to
Now
unmute
we
the
can hear you.
mic. Thank you guys for joining us tonight here on the Millionaire Ladies Mob. I am Carmen Bernard, founder and CEO of Big Facts. Big Facts is a company that helps you to protect your income, reduce taxes, eliminate debt in 9 years or less, including student loans, mortgages, and everything like that, as well as setting up a tax free retirement that you cannot outlive and set you on that path to financial legacy or generational wealth. All right, so glad that you're here with us tonight as we're going to talk about financial freedom and what does it really mean? What does it mean to be financially free?
All right. Come on through, Aaliyah. Introduce
All
yourself.
right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. My name is Aaliyah Sherrod. I am here in sunny Southern California, and I help provide solid, real solutions to one of the biggest problems today, and that is your healthcare and my healthcare. I help thousands of families, people who are eligible for Medicare, people who have businesses. I help them save money, get incredible coverage, reduce and eliminate the anxiety about surprise medical bills. I also help protect income, eliminate debt, reduce taxes, and create and build family legacy and wealth for generations, just like some of our people that we know, the very celebrities that we know. So that is me, Aaliyah Sherrod, Southern California, and you can reach me at aaliyah10k.com.
All right, all right. Thank you, ladies. And I am Saran Baker. I'll be leading our discussion tonight. And you can reach me at saran10k.com. I do all the things our ladies talked about and some more. I am also the founder and CEO of Covered by Saran and the host of Dirty Little Money Secrets every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. You can connect with me at saran10k.com, as well as you can download a free vision and manifestation journal at saranbaker.co. So let's get into our conversation tonight, ladies. Let's just switch it up. Again, if you're here with us live, drop your name in the chat so we can talk to you. We can talk back to you. You can inbox us with questions if you have questions, and we're going to just go with it. So a lot of times we talk a lot about money on this show. That's just what we do, right, ladies? We talk about protecting it, we talk about earning it, we talk about all of that, right? But sometimes the definition of wealth for a lot of folks is different. We can take it from a generational standpoint. Baby boomers saw wealth differently than Generation X. Generation X sees it differently than millennials. The millennials see it different than Generation Z. Generation Z is going to see it different than this new generation that's coming through. And so right now, the real wealth that a lot of people are talking about is time and money freedom. Is freedom with your time and freedom with your money. Now that doesn't always mean you don't work, right? Because as you ladies know, being an entrepreneur can sometimes mean working way more than 8 hours a day.
Whew.
Way more, right? But being an entrepreneur does allow us to manage that. We can get in the game and say, you know what, I'm going to go hard for 12 weeks. And for a week, I'm going to take off and I'm going to go somewhere for a week. We can schedule ourselves that week that way we want to. Some people say, you know what, 6 to 8 weeks, I'm going to go hard and then I'm going to take a week off. So you may end up vacationing and having a little bit more time. But, you know, and I'll say it like this when I think about time and money freedom, right? And I want you all to tell me, kind of what you think about it, because all of the three, just with the three of us here tonight, we're different generations, if you will. But for me, when I think about it, it's like I don't have to go to meetings with people I don't like. I don't have to go. I don't have to sit in a room with people I think are jerks. That's just my thing, because I get to choose who I spend my time with. That's where the freedom for me comes in, right? I don't have to really spend my time, as they say, blocking my time or playing status games with other people, trying to prove that I'm at a certain level by having this or that, or looking a certain way, or carrying this purse or driving this car or whatever. That's freedom to me, not freeing myself mentally and emotional from, having to keep up with the Joneses or the Janes, if you will, right? And then not feeling like I have to say yes to things, because many of us have worked in jobs before or work full time somewhere where it's like you kind of say yes to stuff, but you're thinking, I don't want to do that. Ain't that somebody else's job? Right? And I'm saying it the way you say it in your head because you're at work like, that ain't my job, but yeah, sure, I'll get that done. Right? You don't have to say yes to things that you don't that's not necessarily a thing. But as a business owner, we get to outsource certain things, right? But then the big thing too is, not worrying about, for me, is not worrying about someone else taking credit for my work. Not my time and energy that my time and energy went into. That's real freedom to me, right? And of course, money comes along with this financial freedom and the freedom definition for me. But when I think about it, that's the real wealth for me. The real wealth is the freedom to really get to choose whom I want to spend my time with, who I want to do business with, who I want to try to make money with, right? And I know with us, with the four of us, Shalonda's not here tonight, but with the four of us, we chose to work together to do these videos every week. Nobody said y'all have to go do a video together every week. We said, hey, let's do a video. Let's get together and do a show and provide resources to other women in the community by way of this. And Carmen was creative and came up with a lot of the naming and the coloring and all that other stuff. And somehow I'm the administrator. Right? And everybody brings their own thing, and Shalonda's amazing at bringing in the financial topics and bringing us up to date on some of the other things that are out there. And Aaliyah definitely brings us the keys to the health. And so the four of us make a package that you can't get individually, right?
I
And
never
we
thought about
love that, and we love that. That's why we came together. So just give me an idea, because we're in different places. Like, what do you feel like is financial freedom for you? Or what do you see like your kids are, because you have adult kids, what do you see like your kids, what are they thinking is financial freedom?
You know what? I haven't asked my son what financial freedom is. I haven't asked him, but financial freedom to me is being okay with whatever I want to do. Being able to take off, like you said, and go visit my granddaughter in the middle of the day, or going to, I didn't miss a lot of my son's events at school because I made sure I was there, but it was very stressful. I had to commute like an hour away from home, and it was very stressful working a job. And I wasn't happy doing that. I enjoyed my work, but I wasn't happy being away and having to stress out. But being free is having the time freedom. And if you're sick, you can actually stay home and get well. There are many times when people have to stay, they have to go to work sick because they have no vacation time and they can't get paid. And the time freedom is valuable to me. And as you get older, you start to think about those things. Do you really want to spend 75 years working slaving for somebody else? I'm sorry about saying slaving, but do you want to spend that much time where somebody tells you when to come in, when to go to the bathroom, when you can take off? If someone in your family passes away, you've got 2 bereavement days or 1 bereavement day. So freedom, and it's not really financial. I just want to be able to make sure I can do what I want to do. I don't have to be super wealthy. I would like to be very comfortable, and that freedom to me is the having time and health. If you don't have your health,
Mm-hmm.
and I know this personally. If you don't have your health, even if you have freedom, you're struggling. It's a mental struggle for you. So
Yeah.
that freedom to me is having just the time to do what I want to do, and to take the time to visit my family, because my family is very important to me,
Yeah.
and that's what freedom is to me.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Carmen, come on through. Tell us what you're
Yes.
thinking financial freedom is. What is financial
So,
freedom for you? And what the grown kids telling you?
so when you said you wanted to talk about this, I immediately thought about people that are making a lot of money right now,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And um, I don't know that they necessarily say that financial freedom is what they want. They
Mm-hmm.
just want to have a lot of money, and they want to be rich, like they say, right? And what I see though are things like are really symbols of what they think wealth
Mm-hmm.
is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm going to attempt to do this because I am the least what's the word? Uh symbolizy person or whatever. Because so people might think, the $6,000 shoes. I don't care how much money I make. I will never own a $6,000 pair of shoes unless somebody gave it to me,
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. The belts that symbolizes, the ones with the 2 C's, I think it is. I don't know what it, or 2 G's, Gucci's, okay, Channel, whatever, Chanel, or whatever. I don't know. You
I mean,
know,
I know what they are, but dang.
the look, I don't, because look, I go out and it really bothers me, and my husband will be like, "Do you like him? Do you want it? Do you like it? Buy it." Right? I am not that person, and I'm not saying that to say like my husband is this person that looks for what, but these people with the big gold chains, and that's what represents to them wealth. you know I don't know if you guys saw the news a couple of weeks ago, and the pastor and his wife in New York City that were robbed of $1 million worth of jewelry that they were wearing.
Hmm.
And I'm sorry to say, you guys can quote me on this, I was like, whatever. $1 million worth of jewelry, you're wearing that in the church where you're probably collecting offering from the people that could barely afford $10. I'm glad they took your $1 million. I don't know what they did with it, but I'm glad they did. It's just ridiculous. But these are the things they feel as if they're wearing these things. Now, don't get me wrong. I like to look nice, and I do so on occasion, right? If you guys see catfish me versus me right now, this is me right now. It's a different person, right?
I
But
cannot with
those
catfish me.
but those things, that's the new thing going around now. Catfish me versus me, So it's very easy to catfish me because I don't do a whole lot of makeup and I don't do a whole lot of stuff. So as soon as I put a little bit of makeup on or something, I look totally different. But those are not the things, right? Um, I grew up very, very, very poor, very poor. You know,
Mhm.
I am. And so, yes, those things when I was younger, I may have wished for it and things like that. But I see no reason to wear a $400, $500 belt to prove that doesn't even hold up anything to prove that I am wealthy or that I have money or whatever. Financial freedom to me means just like most of what you guys say. It means being able to be in control of me.
Yes.
That's what it means. It means that, like Aaliyah, I can spend time with my grandchildren whenever I want to. It doesn't matter what day or time it is. It means that I can fly to someplace on vacation, which I'm not flying right now because y'all not playing fair with the COVID. And then when I thought that was better, you come in with monkeypox. So I'm just going to stay right here.
Stay right where we are.
So I've not been flying or going anywhere, but most of the times I take a couple of vacations a year. I haven't done that since 2019. But that's what financial freedom means to me, being able to do that. And the other day, I was talking to a couple of months, maybe a month, I was talking to my granddaughter about entrepreneurship and why she should own her own business. And one of the things that I told her, it's the choices because you have control of you. Like if you were at work and your mom was ill, you couldn't just take off from work. Maybe they'll let you go the first day, the second day. But what if you wanted to be with her for a week or 2 weeks? Then you're gonna now have to choose. Do I choose to keep my job or do I get to go do that? That's what financial freedom means. The whole thing is freedom, but money is always there, right? The money, helps you to be able, having it helps you to be able to make those choices. And for the most part, those people that are spending a whole bunch of money on symbols, that's what I call it. Those are financial symbols that they think represent wealth. Most of the times they have nothing else. They have nothing else.
Yeah.
Can I say
Well,
something?
go ahead, Leah.
Okay, so when you see really wealthy people like those billionaires and things like that, you don't see them in those type of that type of attire. They might have on something that's expensive, but it's a name that you've never heard of because it's too expensive for you. But it's not like one of those brand name drugs. I mean, not drugs, brand names. I'm Medicare on my
Right?
mind.
She's
Girl,
still in work mode. Work
I'm in
mode.
work
Brand
mode.
name drugs, preferred drugs.
But
Stop.
and it's interesting because financial when people are around do what you said and the gold chains and the gold jewelry. Yeah, I like some jewelry, but it's not it's that's not important to me. But that takes time to develop that. I never was really a super flashy person, but it takes time to develop a happiness in yourself where it's okay to not be like the Joneses. Remember like the Joneses. You don't. That's what people are doing. I read that book, The Millionaire Next Door. The millionaire. You don't know they're a millionaire.
Nope.
That's what you want to be. That millionaire next door.
Yeah.
That's right. This is my
And I like
millionaire.
that because we need to really, and the thing, when I thought about this is because we're going to get a definition of financial freedom that's different for every person, right?
Right.
So if you're watching live, you can drop yours in the chat. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. My definition of financial freedom is because everyone's definition is going to be different. I mean, we have people, and I have clients that they do like the higher end items, and that's fine. That because that works for them. That's what they want to focus on. That's where they put their time and their energy. And so it's nothing wrong with it, depending on who you are, because we get to decide in our own space what that means. There's the whole movement now of the tiny home, where people say, you know what, I don't want to put all my money into a big 4,000 or 5,000 square foot house. I want to get me 800 square feet and go and spend the rest of my money traveling the world or having experiences or doing different things. And that's financial freedom for them. And
Yo,
so
that's not gonna work for me.
we know, but everybody's different. And so, and we've talked about this before, Aaliyah, you know, one of the things that I found that worked for me is I really started embracing a minimalist lifestyle in certain areas of my life so that I had less clutter or less items in my house. Most of us don't consider the stuff we have in our houses clutter, but if you look around, you probably bought a lot of something because you liked it. And so I made a conscious effort to decide what those things would be and to redirect that money somewhere else. So instead of spending my free time uh, shopping, I spend my free time educating myself. I spend my new free time, I do videos to educate others. I spend my free time trying to get out into community and volunteer because I realized for me, I was spending money entertaining myself versus actually doing something. I mean, listen, you may not have done it. This could be you. It could not be you. But a lot of us do entertain ourselves by shopping, and that's just a fact. And so the more we get in tune with ourselves, we can make better decisions for our finances and decide to do things, which is why we are even in this industry. So that's really one of the things. And that's why I kind of wanted to talk about it because there's so many different definitions out there, you know, and I love that Carmen was very clear about who she is not and what she's not going to do with her money because that's not important to her. And the same with you, Lee. And that's what we want for you all that are watching, our viewers tonight, ladies. If that is you, it's for you to get really clear about what it is you want. What is you want to do with your money? Because a lot of times, and ladies chime in here, I talk to clients, and if I end up working with them to put together a budget or something, they realize, wait, I have extra money. What is this money you found in the budget? And then we have a conversation. I said, well, what else are you spending money on that you're not budgeting for? And they'll say, oh, well, I did this for so-and-so, or I did that for this one, or I did this, or whatever, right? And I said, well, is that what you want to do with your budget? And they're like, no. I said, so what are you going to do? And they're like, well, I always say yes when I'm asked to do whatever these things are. I said, well, maybe say no half the time and you'll have more money to do different things. And they're like, oh, but it really is about choice, you know. And talk to me about like some of the things you're hearing and seeing from your clients.
You know, my clients, I do a lot of Medicare. So that's one area that I start. And a lot of the clients are shocked when they get Medicare age and how much things cost. So they didn't budget for that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't budget for that. So I have a lot of clients who are struggling. Some even if they have a huge 401k. I've got some clients that have huge 401ks and money in the bank, but they're shocked at what they have to pay for medical because they thought when they get to their golden years, now I'm going to have free this or free. It doesn't work like that. So some of my clients are really shocked. They're prepared for retirement, but they're shocked at some of the expenses that they did not put in their budget that they have to do. And I saw a live the other day where a young lady was talking about budget and financing and retiring, and she said, you know, did you think that if your salary is, you know, let's say it's $80,000-$90,000, and now you're going to retire and it's going to be a third of that, or maybe half, or maybe 3/4 of that, but you still have the same bills. So you have to think about that. So financial freedom to a lot of my clients is, I don't want to pay all these extra little things that I didn't really realize. So we have to think about that as we're in our work years, how our retirement and how our financial freedom is going to look when we get the chance to not have to punch a clock or go to work in traffic. You know, traffic is very stressful. It wears on the body. So clients are worried that they're not going to have a lot of money left over. And then they have all these extra bills because of their medical insurance that they need. So that's what I'm dealing with.
I love that you brought the awareness that we just don't realize how much it costs to retire. I don't know who keeps putting out this whole myth that you're going to need less money to live in retirement. That is the biggest crock of BS I've ever heard. Y'all thought I was gonna say it, but I didn't say it. That is the biggest myth out there. You do not need less money to live in retirement. I don't care who you are. Like you said, if your bills are the same, your bills ain't gonna change when you retire. Why do you need less money? It doesn't
So
make
listen, so Aaliyah said, like a lot of her clients that they've prepared, and but now they're being surprised by certain things. So I venture to say that they think they are prepared, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they are really not prepared. My battery just decided that it's going to do something. Hold on 1 second, guys. I thought I had plugged in my I thought I had plugged in my thing before when I started talking to you. But they're really not prepared. They think that they are prepared. And the problem is that they don't truly understand what they will face in the future. Because many of them are basically going based on what's happening today. That's what they're going based on. And a lot of so-called experts are going around letting people know that, you're older now, so you are going to need, you wouldn't need that 90, you're making 90,000, you wouldn't need 90,000 then. So you can plan for, something that's 70 or 60,000, 2/3 or something like that. The problem is that cost of everything is going up.
Mm-hmm.
So that 60,000 today is not going to be that same 60,000 later on. The next thing is, like, I have spoken to several people that are almost ready to retire,
Mm-hmm.
and they do have a couple $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
That they do not understand that they are one diagnosis away from
Oh,
eating that out in like about one, in a year or less.
yes.
We have drugs that cost $20,000 a month,
Wow. Yeah.
right? And so people are not truly considering long-term care
Mm-hmm.
when they're talking about financial freedom, or but they're not considering that. Now, here's where I will agree with you. Here's where I would say, Saran, when some of them are saying that it's going to cost the same to live because their bills are going to be the same. You have to have other things coming in, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to have things that are not affected by what's going on in the market, by pandemics, by epidemics, by any of those things, because you have to have what we three talk about here all the time: tax-free money that's coming in from someplace else, so that when you draw from that money, it is not affecting how it keeps growing for the rest of whatever. Because many of our almost retirees or people that just retired saw what happened in March 2020, because you cannot afford to draw down when the market is down.
Down. Correct.
You can't. So you have to have that money coming from someplace else. You have to have an annuity paying you something. You have to have some other tax-free money coming in from someplace else, so that you do not draw down while that market is down. So financial freedom for me also means that I am free from those kind of constraints when I am I'm not there yet. I have some freedom, but I'm not there where I want to be. I want to make sure that nothing is going to stop me from doing the things that I'm currently doing or want to do. Whether it's an illness that I didn't expect, we got to plan for the unexpected.
Yes, indeed.
We got to plan for the unexpected. Whether it's an illness, whether it's, I spoke to a teacher a couple of weeks ago. She said, I am fine. She has about $100,000 in her account. How is that fine? And she still has to pay taxes on that. I don't think that people really and truly get it of what it is that they're facing. She still has a mortgage and she still has student loans. She has come to the decision that she's not paying the student loans. What are they going to do to me? Hello, they're going to take it out your Social Security.
Correct. Well, and here's the thing. I think we lost you. But here's the thing. When you start talking about, having the money saved, and it's kind of the similar formula that we talk about when we start talking about protecting your income. If you're making $100,000 a year and you expect to be retired for 10, 15, 20, maybe even 30 years after you retire, depending on how old you are when you retire. Let's just say you retire at age 62. Well, the average lifespan for a woman is about age 89, right? And so that's what, 27 years. Can I do math fast? You got, so that's 20 something years you're going to be retired, right? So that means you need at least $100,000 a year for you to retire. So if it's 27 years, that's $2.7 million that you're going to really need to have for retirement. Now you're probably like, oh my God, that's too big. Well, some of the systems that we have in place are set up for us not necessarily to get there, because how in the world do you work 30 years and only save 10%, 20% a year and get 3 million? Well, that's where the investing comes in, and having different vehicles for your money, having your money placed in different vehicles, having that 3 or 4-legged stool for retirement, having setting up retirement. And this is something that I love to talk about now that I've worked with another lady out of Atlanta on some things, is we got to start setting up retirement plans for our kids and our grandkids before they're born and when they're born, so they have some time value on their money and some time for that money to compound. It's time out for waiting for our kids to plan for that. We got to start putting together plans where we're not worried about if they're going to have it, because right now, statistically, 56% of every 100 people who retire are going to end up dependent on the government. 56%. And so you have to ask yourself, that's over half. Well, what percentage are you going to be in, right? Only 8% of that same 100 people, of every 100 people, are going to be financially stable. The other 11%, they're going to be still working. Well, where are you going to be working? We've had this conversation, ramen or riches in retirement. Walmart are at home during retirement. Where you going to be?
Right.
Nothing wrong with Walmart. They got good deals. But do you want to work there?
Mm-hmm.
When you are 70.
Right. When you're 70.
75.
And there's a lucky percentage. I forgot the number, like 23% or whatever. There's a lucky percentage. They won't even be here. They done got out. You don't get out alive, so they done got out, right? And I say that in jest, but the thing is that we have to. It's tough to have this conversation, because I'll admit it. In my double 20s now, I didn't believe people at 25 when they said, you got to start planning for retirement now. You got to start planning for retirement now.
I didn't either.
And so then you end up in your late 30s and 40s in the rush to catch up. Well, you can't catch up on that time that you have on your money, that doubling, or we retire because we're the retirement age. We have the age and the time in at the job, but you don't have no money. You done retired and you only got $250,000 in your account, or you got $100,000. And the thing is if you make $100,000 a year and your retirement account has $100,000 in a year, first of all, congratulations, because you got to $100,000, right?
Right.
But that's not the time to retire, because if you start doing calculations on it to make it a lifetime income, you're not looking at a lot of money per month. And even adding that to Social Security, which is your money that you paid in. So don't get it twisted. I'm not knocking Social Security, because that's your money, right?
Yep.
Get it back. But the thing is that when you go to get that money back, I got bad news for you. It is taxed. And it can and will be taxed up to 80%, depending on what other monies you have coming in. But that doesn't mean don't save, because you still have to. It's like, Which one do you do? But you got to do it all, right? And again, having that four-legged strategy. You have retirement plan and a job, absolutely access it. You have Social Security, you don't have a choice but to participate in that because they will give you the option, right? Get with us to start talking about some tax-free, some tax favorite options that you can start using some of the different tools to put some money away in a tax favored way. Start working with us to start talking about getting some annuities set up that can have what they call those lifetime income riders, where you know that you contribute a certain amount, you're going to get a certain amount every month for your whole life. There are things that are out there to do, but the thing is that we're not having the conversation and we don't know to do these things. And then, oh, by the way, there is a whole option for you to go and invest in the market. Now, I'm not saying just go invest in the market right now without no education. That's my disclaimer today. I did not tell you to just go invest in the market and you don't know what you're doing. But find a way, get educated, get into some of these think tanks that are showing you how to invest in the stock market so you can have some money, because we do need to have a portion of our fund, a portion of our funds in some higher risk so we can make more money. Looking at stocks, looking at crypto. Crypto is one of the currencies of the future. What are you doing in that area? Are you at least learning about it so that you can take some time to get into it? And that's really where the financial freedom comes in, is having that. It's not just financial, and it's financial freedom now. For me, financial freedom right now is if I want to go do something, I do it. I don't have to ask nobody. I don't have to worry about the money. I just go and do it, right? And that's freedom. But then there's the time, well, what's going to happen in the future? Because 20, 30 years from now, when it's time for me to sit down, because I love what I'm doing, I feel like I'll be working because I like doing this work. But, when it's time for me to really sit down, because guess what? Sometimes you got to sit down.
You got to sit down.
Then where's my money? I'm going to want to have that money set up. And like you said, having that protection, that one illness, and we talk about the protection all day and twice on Sunday. Having the right type of life insurance and strategy, having the right type of health insurance strategy, having long-term care if you can. I actually met someone in the last couple of weeks who got a long-term care policy in their 20s, and they still have it, and they're paying like dirt cheap amount monthly. I'm like, that's probably the smartest thing you bought in your 20s, But really, that's really, one of the things, to kind of bring us as a group to the table, where we really are here to be your resource. Book that appointment, have the conversation, because not having a conversation could be costing you future money. I get it. You want to go to the vineyard. You want to go down to Nags Head to the beach. You want to go to, Savannah to the water. You want to go to Florida, to Orlando. You want to do those things, do it. But make sure you have the right financial strategy in place. So Carmen, talk to us a little bit about, some of the things that you know about as far as, getting folks into some plans and some places, some programs to kind of get them on the path for that money.
So one of the very first things, am I still frozen?
No.
Oh, okay. So one of the very first things is, basically sitting down and talking and sharing with a financial professional. That's the very first thing. So that you can be aware of all of those pitfalls that you don't normally think about, right? And so that's one of the very first things to do. The second thing is to be aware of the time that you have right now. Time is our greatest asset, right?
Yes,
and sure. We need to use that time to be able to create what we want for the future, right? We cannot wait. We must do it now, okay? And whether that means looking in depth at what you have going on right now and finding a way to be able to do those things. to be able to take a vacation right now. Because I'm not saying go to work every day and then next thing you know, by the time you're age 64, 65, just right ready to getting ready to retire, and you drop dead because you worked yourself to death. So it's just got to be a balance, right? It's just got to be a balance. It's got to be, and I'm not the person that's going to be here telling you that, oh, don't do this because that is stupid. This is what you have to do. It's just got to be a balance,
Right.
right? We have to have some, we have to have that, or some of us have a job or something like that, but we have to have some second and third streams of income coming in passively. So we have to research and look and see what are those things that we can do that will enable us to make money while we sleep. Now, because of technology and the world we live in, there's just so many ways that we can make money. We got to find a way to be able to leverage the tax system to help us. The tax code helps us not just with lowering your taxes, but with even with your savings, with which will now affect your investing. When it comes to what vehicles you use to save. The thing about it is that we've got to invest. We've got to invest, and investing comes with risk. But if we approach this plan properly, we can manage that risk. Part of that is getting an education and figuring out how it is that we can participate in some of this great wealth transfer that's occurring right now.
Take advantage of every crisis.
Yes, that's occurring right now. And how do we do that? Right? Um, there's just so many different things that we can do. Like you were talking about crypto, hella risky, but there's ways to manage that risk. And by getting yourself educated and understanding what to do. Too many of us keep, even after everything that's happened, we keep dependent on just our job, and it's not enough. Because the first reason why it's not enough, and I'm going to tell you, if you continue to be an employee, you will continue to pay the most taxes, and you will continue to complain about those of us who are able to take advantage of the tax strategies, because we are not only an employee, but we are also set up in certain ways to be able to take advantage of that tax system that others are taking advantage of, and we're just complaining about it.
Right.
Employees earn their money, employees pay taxes, and they spend what they have left. Business owners earn money, they spend what they want, and then they get taxed on what is left.
Yes.
And of course, you have to have your entities and things set up properly to do that. Get educated, figure out how to do that. But if not, you will keep paying more taxes than the rest of others. So that's my biggest thing to you. In order to get on that path to financial freedom, you've got to find a way to have some structure set up that you can participate in that tax system that all the other wealthy people are doing it. As an employee, you'll never be able to do it.
Yeah. And I love it. I mean, unless you're an employee at like Google or Facebook, they give you a great stock option.
Even for them, because you still earn and pay taxes first, right? You
But
still do that.
but they got the stock options. You got something that making a lot of money. That's not everybody, but
Yeah,
know,
they do, and they still gonna pay taxes on all of that. So if they can mitigate some of that by being a business owner, and a business owner, guys, does not necessarily mean that you have to be an entrepreneur. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to work inside of the business. It does not mean any of those things. So get educated.
Yeah, I love it. So we're coming up on the top of the hour, so we won't belabor it. But Leah, did you have anything else you want to add?
No, I just wanted, and I said no, and I started talking, but I wanted to say, I agree with Carmen because when you're young, you don't think about the future far away. You think over the next couple years. When you're 5 years old, you say, I'm five and a half. My granddaughter, she's five and a half. It's like you say these halves but when you get to a certain age, you stop saying that. You don't even want to tell anybody how old you are. You should be, I mean, you can be proud of it, but when you think about it, financial freedom is having the freedom to just do what you want to do, feel the way you want to feel. You don't have any, well, in the today's world, you have to be very careful with what you do. But I saw one of the celebrities that are on Facebook moved to a country that I never would have even thought about visiting. I don't like to really fly on a long flight, especially over water. It's just something I don't want to do. But to move to a country, just because you can, because you work from home, as long as they have an internet connection. If you thought about moving to Costa Rica or somewhere in Mexico, I sit back and think, I said, where do I want to go? I can't even think about where I want to move to because I want to be near my grandkids and I want to be near my mom. If I didn't have them, I'd be somewhere because all I need is a computer and an internet connection and I can work and make money. And that is the freedom that I love. Most people today, I have one of my employees, young man. I said, you work from home. Go somewhere. Don't just stay here. You're paying your rent is three times what it could be somewhere else. And he finally did it. And he's so
Wow.
happy. He's so happy. So happiness to him, he loves being in the rain. So he moved to Washington. I mean,
Wow.
and it just Seattle of all the rainy places. I love the rain too, but I don't like being cold. I like the desert rain, the desert storms. Arizona, Nevada. I love the monsoons. So freedom to me is being able to live in a place that has the monsoonal season. And, I can be outside in the rain and it feels like I'm on vacation, but I'm at my home. That's what freedom
Mhm.
is to me. And that's why I love Arizona. Because when I came through there and we were in a restaurant and we walked outside and it had gotten dark, dark and pouring down rain, I want to live here. This is where I want to be. And that's freedom.
I mean, I love it because I'm about to pack my stuff. I'm moving, and because I
Where
work,
you moving
I do
to?
all my stuff, do all my stuff from my computer. I'm about to just start. So make space for me, Carmen. I'm gonna need a room for a couple of weeks. Aaliyah, make space for me. I'm gonna need a room for a couple. I mean, why not? Um, but really, that's really the thing. Living the dream and making the best of it. Making sure that we're able to if we didn't learn anything over the last 24 months, um, and we can beat this horse to death, but I think most people, and I won't say everyone, but most people came out of, the pandemic that we all collectively experienced in the world feeling like, I'm just going to go and do more, be more, see more. And some people are just like, nope, I'm just going to get back to my routine. And that's what I'm going to do. And guess what? Both are right. You know why? Because it's
Right.
their life.
That's right.
And that's the best part about it is it's their life. And we have
Exactly.
these conversations not in a judgmental format, but to just show you and tell you that there's more out there and there's more ways for you to consider doing things and more options for you to move forward. And oh, by the way, you have 4 financial professionals who can help you because we see so much more of what's happening with finances and finance in the financial world than maybe you do because you're only handling yours. So that's really all we have for today. So we're
So
gonna
wait,
say
wait, wait, wait for a
goodbye.
second. Wait for a
And I'm
second.
gonna look. No, I'm not waiting. And then I'm gonna let Carmen. No, go ahead, Carmen.
No, wait for a second. So today I saw this post, and it was about a guy, a Senegalese soccer star who
Mm-hmm.
earns about 10.2 million dollars a year
Oh, give him my
annually.
number.
I know, right? And he was given a rude awakening when some fans were upset. They were flabbergasted because he had a cracked iPhone 11. That's what he was carrying. And the picture shows the cracked screen. And he turned around and he told them, why would I want 10 Ferraris, 20 diamond watches, 2 jet planes? He said, I starved. I worked in the fields. I played barefoot. I didn't go to school. Now I can help people. I prefer to build schools and give the poor people food and clothing. I have built schools. I have built a stadium. I've provided food, clothes, shoes for people. And he gives about $70 euros a month to all the people from some very poor Senegalese region. And he says he does not need to display luxury cars or luxury homes or planes. He prefers that people receive some of what life has given him. And I'm
Mm.
figuring that now that's his financial freedom. And like you said, Saran, if you get 4 people together, financial freedom looks different. And I dare to venture to say that it changes as well,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Because if you didn't have grandchildren, maybe spending the time with grandchildren is not going to be your thing, but then you do end up with grandchildren, whether they are biological or whether they are bonus accepted or adopted, or you just find somebody that you connected with or whatever. And I believe that it can I believe that it can change. So some people, and I'm just go ahead and end right here. That way we can get off. But some people, for them, financial freedom just means having thousands of dollars in a bank savings account that they can look at.
Hmm.
My thing is our thing is not to judge you about that, but just to make sure that you understand and you're aware of all of the other pitfalls that just having that may do.
Yeah.
Younger people might think that the symbols, the belt, the clothing, the red bottoms, the fancy shoes, the cars, you can only drive one at a time, but you have 17. All of those things, making sure that you can have those things, but you also have other things in place for
Hmm.
when, you're in a different stage of your life.
Yeah. And I
Um,
love it because we all have something different. The person who has 17 cars, their thing may just be collecting cars, and kind of like the Senegalese soccer player, his thing is helping people with his money. But somebody else's maybe, I like to collect cars. And again, there's no wrong way because we're all here living this earth, having our own human experience, and we get to live it the way we choose to. We're just giving you some different options and some ways to see things. So I love that example of the soccer player.
right,
Now don't get
exactly.
me wrong. If I had, I probably would carry a cracked iPhone too.
Me
If
too.
I could see it because I can't see the one that don't have crack, so I gotta make sure I don't have crack in mine. But we're gonna check out. So Aaliyah, you wanna give us your goodbye
Yes.
message,
Yes, I
and
want to
then
say
we'll go.
goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us every week because you could be somewhere else. You decide to spend your time, even if you are on the replay. I appreciate all of you. I help and make sure that you are safe in your health insurance. I create millionaire babies. And thank you so much for joining us. My name is Aaliyah Sherrod, and you can reach me at aaliyah10k.com. Thanks for joining.
Yes, go ahead, Carmen.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us as well. I hope that you got something from us, even if you stayed on here for a minute or two, couple of minutes. If you're looking at the replay, I hope that you have just garnered something from what we have shared. If something resonated with you, if you'd like to talk to us about something, always reach out to us at millionaireladiesmob@gmail.com. If you wanted to speak directly with me, I'm Carmen Bernard, and you can reach me at carmen10k.com.
Love it, love it, love it. All right. Well, and I'm your girl, Saran, your Dirty Little Money Secrets host. You can join me on Mondays at 8:30 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook Live. And you can reach me at saran10k.com. And you can also get your free download of a vision and manifestation journal at saranbaker.co. It's also linked in my digital business card. But we love you. We thank you for joining us. If you're watching the replay, please drop hashtag replay. Give us your comments, your feedback. Be sure to tell us what's your idea of financial freedom. Hashtag my idea of financial freedom. Let us know in the comments. And we will see you next week, same time, same bad channel. Bye.
Bye.